One of the positions that we obviously talk about all the time in CrossFit gymnastics or gymnastics generally is the hollow body. And one of the most common mistakes I see with the hollow body is people thinking that all it is a closure of the hip. This is not a hollow body. A hollow body involves a full body, full torso thing. And what we want to see with the hollow body is what I would refer to as a retraction of the rib cage and also a tuck under of the pelvis. So it's not just about closing this angle and maybe this angle on the rig. It's about the entire body compressing gently in the front to make a long sort of C shape. We're closing the space under here because we're pulling these bones, you know, the hip bones that kind of like stick out if you put your fingers there, and we're pulling those under toward your face. Sometimes if I'm being naughty, I'll say pull your dick toward your chin. And we're also pulling these ribs down in this direction. You can see how that's me, again, pulling my rib cage back. And when I do that, you're going to see that my shoulders roll off the floor. And in that position, I can add a reach and bring my arms up overhead. That is our hollow body shape. From there, we then add the extension of the legs. Now, we only want to extend as far as you can actually control. So if that's here, that's totally fine. If that's one leg out, that's totally fine. Or you can go into a full hollow body. So remember, we tuck, crunch, shrug, then extend. You might be able to do a really good hollow body on the floor like that, but when we take it over to the rig, sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect. The shapes should be the same. Let's have a look at it. In our hollow body, rib cage retracts, pelvis tucks under. That means when I jump up to the rig, the shape shouldn't look anything like this, because that's not a retracted rib cage, and it's definitely not a tucked pelvis. So we should see this. Now, to do that on the rig, I have to create a little bit of pressure down with the hands, and that will somewhat close down that shoulder angle, but not so much that it starts to close down here. When we bring that into a dynamic movement, like our kip swing, you're going to see that shape requires me to pull the abs down and under, push the bra strap back, and that will take my hollow body from that yucky shape into a pretty shape. That's not the same as now, this seems cosmetic, right? Like it seems like I'm just trying to make a prettier shape. But the fact is here that prettier shapes allow you to use all of those muscles through your abs, through your core, and your hip flexors to be able to drive shapes on the rig. That means your kipping movements are going to be faster, more powerful, and more effective, and using less energy and less distance in some of your movements. So you shouldn't need to do a big, massive kip to get up over the bar. You're just going to use a smaller, tighter shape and be equally powerful.